Welcome to the Javier Mendez podcast. And today we will be talking about all the different things going on in MMA news. We will get to the Bellator San Diego, where Javier has Usman fighting, but that will be towards the end of our stuff. We want to talk about some of the things you don't hear us talk about all the time, like the headlines. So let's talk about how the Canelo fight being the same night as UFC Noche with Sean, fighting as the headliner. There's so many articles talking about how the UFC's taken such a hit and there's so much disinterest to one of their biggest venues, things that they had to sell out at the same night. Would you have anticipated that from boxing, being able to step on the UFC so much?
Based on that it's on Cinco de Mayo type, Mexican, that's Mexican's day for pay-per-view. It's always been that way for as long as I remember. And Canelo being the biggest superstar in Mexico fighting on that night, I think on a pay-per-view level, it's going to be difficult to compete. On top of that, if you look at the prices, from what I'm told, on the Canelo fight, the lowest ticket's like $450. On the UFC, the lowest fight is like 2,500, maybe. That's what I was told. And I'm not verifying on that because it's not verified on my end. That's what I was told. So that being the case, what you pick, what are you going to want? Fights are fights. People, unless you're an MMA particular huge fan and that's it, then you'll go there. But if you're a fight fan and you get to go to the Las Vegas and you're going to spend $450 or 2,500 for nosebleed tickets, what are you going to buy? I'm going to go nosebleed ticket all the time and save my other money to have fun in Vegas. So outside of the huge MMA fans, I think that's a big part of it right there. The other big part is Sean Omalley big enough of a star to headline this one? Honestly speaking,
is he not a Mexican enough hero on Cinco de Mayo? Come on, I mean,
definitely he's not. Definitely 100%.
Oh, wait, it's not Cinco de Mayo. What are we saying here? It isn't.
It's Mexican Independence Month.
Mexican Independence Day. My bad. Yeah.
I think so. But anyways, it's our Heritage Month, Mexican Heritage. I know it's Mexican Heritage Month for sure, but what it is there, I don't know. I just don't think that O'Malley's a huge star yet. I think he can be, but I don't think he's Connorish. I don't think he's, honestly speaking, where he needs to be yet. I mean, he's got all the charismatic personality, he's got the fighting style, but I just don't think he has that the people that can propel him into that next level. I don't think so. So, and therefore, being that it's a Mexican independence type celebration type thing, they usually hold a big giant pay-per-view fight. That's a big challenge in itself. And I think also the ticket prices, are a big scare, and if you're not a huge star, which I don't consider Sean Omalley a huge star yet, I hope he becomes a huge star because I would love for Umar and him to meet at some point real soon, because that's who I'm kind of throwing the juju, vibes out there to have O'Malley win. But if he doesn't, Merab is fine too, because Merab's a worthy challenger. But I just, I always want the biggest thing for my guys, and I think O'Malley's the biggest fight for us if we can get that fight. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I like Merab too, though. So he's a warrior, and he's doing really funny thing with these videos, right? I mean, these videos, he's pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull up the thing. Well, I got the ticket prices before we talk about Merab. So cheapest seats 306, known as Noche UFC, are expected to cost on the floor, at least 3,000. Price range tickets follows: floor 12 to 17,000, 12.5 to 17.57, and then the 100 levels 3,000 to 12,000, 200 level 3,000 to 5,000, 300 level 3,000 to 5,000, 400 level 2,000 to 3,000. And Sphere Screen View for a limited view, but a full view of the octagon is $757.
Okay, what's Canelo? So I'm kind of almost right on what I said. Not exactly, but I'm kind of right. What's Canelo?
Yeah. Okay, let's see what that is. Yeah. Yeah. And Canelo's a draw, dude.
Oh, he's huge draw, especially Mexican Independence Day type thing. You kidding me?
So they're starting at 373 up to 46,000. But there's a range.
373. 373 for a nosebleed. So what do you think?
Average price is 1,637 compared to, the entry level of $2,200 at the highest nose, under nosebleed, nose starting to bleed.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, that's a huge difference. So you got to consider that too. You can't just go on, oh, well, it's because of this. No, prices. People, it's like, hey, how many fans want to go to nosebleed section for that kind of money? How many? You think I would? You think I would want to pay that kind of money to be in nosebleed section? Hell no. Hell no. I'm not going to pay that kind of money not to be in nosebleed section. No way. Not going to happen. I'll watch it on pay-per-view. And one of those screening that they have there, I'll go there and watch it for what, $40-$50, and I could be
eat some chicken wings and talk to some pretty waitresses and live happily ever after.
Enjoy myself. Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it. Number one, O'Malley's not a Conor type star, Khabib star, John Jones type star yet. And I say yet because I think he has the potential to go there because, he does fight extremely well. He does speak extremely well. He is charismatic. I mean, Sean Omalley he's got it going on. So no doubt, but I just don't think he's quite there yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. So they say there's not the interest. Hopefully the interest comes at the last minute. Biggest show to throw it on. I don't think it's going to break the UFC, but it's going to put a dent.
Also, one other thing to note: if you watch the way the performance here, it's like a band. Like it's made for bands, so everybody's going to be circled around the audience here, right? So it isn't like you're around behind, like the all the way around. You got fans around. No, it's right in front of you, like in a stage. So there's nobody behind you watching. So this is one of those type of things. So I think that view too, it's not attractive for fights. And Dana, just like you said, he wanted to throw this, make it the most expensive ever. It's a one and done. It's not really set up for MMA also, or fights in general. It's not a fighting type venue, so that's another reason why I think that it's not going to do as well. I just don't think so. I myself, I might be in Vegas, but if I'm in Vegas and I want to watch it, I'm not looking to go to the venue to watch it. I'll watch it on some kind of, pay-per-view that they have, outside of there to watch it at one of those bars,
Yeah. I mean, that's usually what I would do too. And it doesn't matter what the show is. If it gets too ridiculous, that's something that I would push away from, right? There's something like, here's another fight that I just heard of because I'm just bringing in some random segues. But you heard about Shara Bullet possibly fighting Petrosian?
What? Shara Bullet Petrosian?
Yeah.
What Petrosian?
Armin. The guy with great stand-up. That's a good test.
Petrosian. Armin Petrosian.
The kickboxer that was that came into the UFC. He was a really great kickboxer. Armin Petrosian. Middleweight. That would be at UFC 308.
Oh, why am I going blank on him?
It's probably been a while since you've seen him.
Who did he fight? Who did he fight? Petrosian. I mean, when you said Petrosian, I thought you were talking about the great kickboxer of all time, the guy that was undefeated in the glory. That guy's, man, what a badass.
I think that's him. I could be, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I thought he came across into MMA, UFC, but he got beat by Rodolfo Vieira by a submission last time out. He's beat AJ Dobson, Leroy Duncan. But Caio, the guy that just did great the other week, he beat him in a unanimous decision. So should be interesting though. It's a really good stand-up kickboxer against Shara Bullet.
If it's that Petrosian we're talking about, the guy that's the glory champion Petrosian, as a kickboxer, that guy's, he is a major stud. That would be very interesting to see how well Shara can do with him. If it's that Petrosian, I'm thinking that is with the G. No, the guy I'm talking about starts with the first name is with the G. Something Gregorio or something like that. Petrosian. No, this is not him. You said Armin, right?
I said Armin.
Yeah, no, not the Petrosian I'm talking about. So I don't know how that fight will go because I don't know. But the other Petrosian,
He was out of Italy. This guy, he was out of Italy, and he's
the other guy too. Maybe it's his brother.
Yeah, he's got 70 wins and 27 by knockout out of 93 fights.
Nah, it's not that Petrosian. The Petrosian I'm talking about maybe lost one time. That might be his brother. It might
Probably.
be his
Yeah, it's his brother. I know you're talking about. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I did go off on a long one. What other things have you been thinking about? You brought up a few things to me earlier. What other things in the UFC have you been looking at?
Dana still up the debate on insisting John Jones is pound for pound number one, and he has his valid points. But my valid points is I just say one thing: Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France how many times? And basically he got all these titles taken away from him because of one thing, doping. And even though it was many years later that they caught him, he lost all his Tour de France. Well, it's been a fact. It's been proven. John Jones has been caught doping. So I'm sorry. I think that disqualifies him just based on that alone. His ability, I think is definitely there, 100%. You can definitely put him in that question because, at his peak, could anybody have beat him? Probably, I don't know. I know for a fact that I don't think anybody could beat Khabib at his peak, and I think Khabib can come back right now and beat a lot of people. Actually, everybody, to be honest with you. I think Khabib can go up to 185 easily and beat everybody there, if he wanted to. But that's just me talking because that'll never happen. But I know how good Khabib is because I see him in the gym here and destroying everybody he ever grapples with. He's never not destroyed anybody grappling, and they can't stop him from taking him down. He takes everybody down. So for me, I think the debate is, there's a lot to say about John Jones, and actually pound for pound number one right now. He would be, in my opinion, probably in a big consideration, but he hasn't fought since 2021.
Yeah.
So that right there, I don't know how you can put him in that category because of what he did before. He's not active. If he was active, then there's a bigger challenge for that. But he's not active. His abilities. Yeah, I can see that 100%. I mean, the guy is one of the greatest of all time, for sure. But for me, I value the greatest of all time based on what they do outside, not just what they do inside. That's why I put Khabib and GSP is right there too, because how he is outside. GSP is such a gentleman outside the cage and what he's done. So that's the reason. But Khabib's never lost but 2 rounds. 2 rounds. And arguably, these other guys have lost. GSP's lost, Anderson Silva's lost, and Khabib didn't fight it enough times. Yeah, for sure, but he fought enough, 29-0. That's still pretty considerable, for not being, ever losing. Only 2 rounds.
Well, the frequency, has something to do with it. Didn't they overturn the doping on a technicality or something? That would be the argument you would get back, even though they said they popped John for something. Then they said, "Oh, we change it" or something like that. Was there a reversal on that, if I remember?
No, that's in the DC fight. You're talking about the Matt Hamill one. Matt Hamill one. They're talking about that one, reversing that, giving the win instead of the draw. No contest. That was the Matt Hamill fight. No, the DC fight. It was no. He was caught.
And then what happened? But it doesn't show as a loss on his record, I don't think.
No. It's a no contest. It's not a loss. He didn't lose. How can you put it a loss? It's no contest.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
you can't.
That makes sense.
He didn't lose. So how are you gonna put a loss on him because he didn't lose? Did he need this stuff? Is he on this stuff? I don't know. I'm just going based on the proof is out there that you've been on it. So to me, that disqualifies you. As far as I'm concerned, and why is it in all sports it's that way, but yet our sport is not? How come? How is that? In our sport,
double talk. Double talk.
I don't know. It's definitely a debate. It's definitely something that we can talk about. It's definitely something that has merit. And definitely something Dana speaking about this it's merited by him saying what he's saying, and I definitely. His opinion is valid, but so is mine.
I was watching a bunch of interviewers, like they're making videos people try to get hit pieces where they're trolling Dana, like, "Oh, John's the best, right, Dana?" Like they're like messing with them at some of the press conferences because they were tired of him just telling them like, "You know nothing, I know everything," And I respect that too. I mean, it's like just because you say so and you run the organization, whatever you say goes, and everyone else is stupid. I can't know. I don't care who you are. There are certain limits, right?
Yeah.
Just because you said so, honey. Javier said that I'm, great at playing the flute. Never played in my life, but he told me.
That's why when I say what I say my opinion. My
Right.
And I don't say if you guys disagree with me, you're crazy. No, anybody can disagree with me, and they have valid points for disagreeing with me. This whole conversation we're discussing can be disagreed on by the people listening. They 100%, and
True.
they probably have a valid reason for disagreeing with what I'm saying. And I wouldn't sit here and go, no, you're wrong. It's like, well, it's their opinion. This is my opinion. I'm sharing my opinion, and that's my opinion.
In a way, we're trying to measure the immeasurable. Like, how can you measure something that's different? An airplane versus a ship. They're two different things. One's on the water, one's in the air,
Yeah. And then
also the weight classes and the people that everybody face. I mean, heavyweights are definitely more dangerous. If you took your lightweights and made them fight heavyweights, of course, but right.
And what about this thing with Shavkat and Bilal Muhammad, and now there's a lot of talk about who's next, and Bilal saying, well, why don't Kamaru and Shavkat fight for it, and then they fight him. And it's unfortunate, but the person that decides who you fight is the UFC. You don't decide.
Yeah, everybody likes to pretend like king of the castle.
Yeah, we did our thing. We try to get the welterweight title fight before anything. We tried it, didn't work.
Right,
so good for you. You're trying, but at the end of the day, the UFC offers you who they want you to fight, and you either accept or don't accept. If you don't accept, they push your fight back because they have contracts that they say they can do that. And they offer you a certain amount of people, and if you don't, contracts stipulate they can do certain things to you. So bottom line is, you're the champion. The UFC controls where you go and who you fight. And if you basically refuse the fights they offer you, hey, they give you a fight that's legit, and you refuse it, and if they refuse that fight, I think it adds 3 months to your contract, or 6 months, something like that, depending on what the contract states. But that'll add to your contract, so you extend your contract, so they can continue doing that. A lot of fighters refuse fights, and they think, well, I have 1 year of my contract left, so I'll bet you refuse 2 fights that were offered to you, and now the year's over. Well, the contract's not over because you extended your contract by 1 year by refusing the fights that they were offered to you, because they were legit mandatory fights. And the only thing that the fighter can do and should do is control when they're ready to fight, not turning opponents down. I don't think any champion, I don't think they should refuse anybody that's offered to them. When they're ready to fight, that's another thing. But
yeah, as a champion, you got to take what's coming your way. You can't just, I don't know. There's different people play it differently. Like Islam's like, bring them on. Whoever it is, bring them on. I love that,
But you have
and I don't want to cite, Bilal, he doesn't sound too different than a lot of other people who feel that it should be someone else they should be fighting or whatever. I don't know. I mean, he just, congrats to him to being the champ. It's just people handle their championship politics differently, or how they want to put it out there in the social medias, I guess.
I remember what happened to poor Loao. Nobody respected him. Nobody gave him credit. He was trying
True.
for a 10-fight win streak. I mean, he was being disrespected, and everybody was talking bad about him. They were talking about he didn't deserve it, this and that. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Now he gets the title, and he actually dominated, and he wins the title. Now it's kind of like, honestly, he is in the right to do what he's doing, because he went through a lot. Now he's the champ. Now he's like playing that, okay, I'm gonna do this. They're doing the same thing to him, so now he's just giving it back to them, because they were doing it to him. He had to play that part now. Well, hey, give him my shot, blah blah blah. Like Shavkat's trying to do what Bilal was doing, and Bilal was doing what they were doing to him. Do you blame Bilal? Hell no, I don't blame him. Because, after a while, you get shoved aside when you're deserving of that opportunity. And then when you grab that opportunity and you become victorious, then it's kind of like, all right, now it's my turn. You shut up.
Time for a little payback.
Yeah,
the system
yeah,
makes you the way the system is.
yeah. But at the end of the day, I know Bilal will fight whoever the UFC puts in front of him.
Of course,
It's just when that day comes. That's all. So he's not. I don't see Bilal refusing any opponent. I really don't. But that they're trying to turn it on him. Like, well, you said when you fight, you'll fight as much as often. You'll fight as many. Blah blah blah. This and that. This and that. Now Shavkat saying now you're talking about you fight this person first, fight that person first. But then you said when you become champ, you're going to fight all the challengers, which is true. I did read that he did say that. But
Shavkat is a beast.
no, he's a beast.
He could be a crown stealing beast if people don't watch out.
You know how
man.
Khabib's father cornered him, I think, in his first UFC fight, I believe.
Oh wow!
Either his first UFC fight or his first MMA fight, one or the other. Khabib's father cornered Shavkat.
Speaking of Khabib, he was showing his little boo-boo he got, his little light half a black eye from practice. He goes, "Am I getting old?" That's what I heard. Did you see that one?
Yeah, Islam Mavadov. He was grappling with Islam Mavadov, and Khabib does what he normally does, just destroys everybody. But he got caught by an elbow, accidental elbow.
Yeah.
It's an accidental elbow while grappling with Islam, and he grappled with Islam again, and he almost got caught again with another same elbow type scenario. And the good thing it didn't split his face open. I've never seen Khabib with a black eye. I don't recall, anyways. And if he had a black eye, I don't remember when the last time he had a black eye. But he has a black eye.
You never get cut up in the whole time.
No, he's never been cut. Never been cut.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's an amazing record in itself. To win and to stay unmarked. I'm like, amazing. I mean, I know Islam's been get some cuts before for sure. He's taken some damage.
One on his forehead now.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Dustin when he nasty elbow right up here.
I was just rewatching that fight, Dustin. That was that way he pulled the leg. That was amazing. How he took Dustin out at the end.
Well, it's amazing how Dustin came on and surprised me how much he wanted this. So that just goes to show you that a fighter that has purpose and has desire sometimes can accomplish something that you never thought could. Look at, like, even with Bilal, he proved that, he proved me wrong big time. I thought, based on everything I was hearing from everybody, and I thought Bilal wouldn't do as well as I was hoping he would do. And boy, I was happy I was wrong. But look what he did. So he's one of those kind of guys that's not necessarily a gym fighter. He's a ring fighter. So come the fight time, Bilal shows up. And but look who he's beat. He's beat Wonder Boy. He's beat all these bunch of guys en route to getting that opportunity. And he fought Leon the first time. And now the reason why I thought Leon would probably win is because people were telling me that it didn't look good for Bilal before the eye poke got to him. So that's what I was thinking. But I didn't see the fight still to this day. I haven't seen it, but apparently I guess Bilal just stuck to the grappling and kept taking him down. And I thought because Kamaru couldn't do it, or maybe Kamaru didn't try hard enough. I don't know.
Pressure. It was pressure, and he was using hands and he was going for it. So he was using everything. He wasn't just weak on one weapon. He was rounded, and he put the pressure. And I was like, man, this reminds me of Khabib.
Well, Khabib did work with him in the episode. He just corner. His corner work with him on that too. So let's not go too far and say it was Khabib's the reason why he won. No, but we did have that game plan for him. Yes. But I think anybody that knows the style knows that was the way to beat him. So I don't think we were alone on that, and it was only our idea. No, I don't think so. I think it was everybody's idea. That's the way you should fight him. And he did. He was able to do it. And it was up to Leon to prevent that from happening, and he couldn't prevent it. Was Leon ready? I don't know. I didn't see the fight, So, Leon was very confident going into the fight, saying, I'm going to knock this guy out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And sometimes when you speak too loud, it's kind of hard because you focus too much on what you spoke about rather than actually really work in your mind of what you're going to actually do versus what you say.